From the day Amarachi came into this world, there was one thing that followed her like her shadow: anger. Not small one, no. Not the type that children used to frown small and go and lie down. No, no, no. This one was wild, fierce, the kind of anger that could turn birthday cake into battlefield. The nurses at the maternity ward even gave her a nickname: small but scary. One nurse said, "This baby was a general in her former life. See how she's squeezing her face like she has unpaid bills." And they were right. When Amarachi came out of the womb, she didn't cry gently like other babies. No cooing, no baby charm. She came out with clenched fists like Mike Tyson during championship and screamed as if somebody had accused her of stealing meat from the pot inside the womb. Her mother, Mama Stella, looked at her and sighed. God, what have I given birth to? By the time she turned 3, Amarachi had already broken 3 cups, 1 standing fan, her mother's favorite ceramic vase, and a landline phone that didn't even ring. She just didn't like the way it looked. Her father, Mr. Sylvester, started calling her Hurricane in Pampers. If he told Amarachi no, even softly, even sweetly, she would frown, drag your clothes and shout with the voice of thunder, "I will not leave you all." She once poured tea on her grandmother's wrapper because the woman took the last piece of bread without asking. Mama Stella tried everything: fasting, anointing oil, tying white thread around Amarachi's wrist. They even rubbed holy water on her forehead one night while she slept. Nothing worked. Once they invited Prophetess Ego from Omahia, she looked at Amarachi and said, "This one is not ordinary. Oh. She's carrying the spirit of thunder and brimstone. But fear not, I'll cast it out." They locked Amarachi in the prayer room with her for 3 hours. When she came out, it wasn't the demon that left. It was the prophetess. She ran. Amarachi had beaten her. School didn't even help matters. By primary 3, Amarachi was already on the staff room's special watch list. If someone touched her pencil, wahala. If her name was mistakenly skipped during roll call, serious drama. One day, a boy in her class named Tunji called her Amarachi Tomato because her lips were always red like she had just eaten pepper. Amarachi didn't even talk. She simply opened her lunchbox, rice and stew, and poured it on his head like baptism. That incident made it to the next PTA meeting. Her mother wept. The headmistress sighed. Amarachi shrugged and said, "The boy insulted me first and I warned him." Oh. Her report card had the same line every term: brilliant but hot-tempered, needs help. At home, she was worse. If her siblings touched her clothes, she would remove her slippers, the hard rubber one from Onitsha market, and chase them round the compound. One time, her little brother Chuka ate the last chin-chin that was saved for her. Amarachi didn't talk. She didn't shout. She simply waited until midnight. She took her brother, locked him inside the toilet, and threw the key under the fridge. Then she went to bed and slept like an angel. Her father had to break the door and change the hinges. By JS3, Amarachi was known round the neighborhood as Miss Fire and Frown. Even grown-ups avoided her. If children were fighting and Amarachi passed by, people would start begging her not to join. "Please, oh, Amarachi, I beg, just pass. We didn't call you." Because if she puts mouth, the quarrel will become World War III. Her mother, exhausted, called a family meeting one hot Tuesday evening. "Amarachi," she said, holding a Bible, "my daughter, what is your problem? Why can't you just breathe before shouting?" Amarachi frowned. They keep provoking me, Mama. Even when nobody talks to you." She pointed to her younger cousin who had been eating silently. "See now, Mama, look at how he's looking at me. They keep looking at me somehow. How do they expect me not to react?" Her father nearly collapsed. "Is this how I will raise a lion under my roof?" Uncle Pascal suggested anger management. Auntie Former said maybe spiritual. Their neighbor Mama Nkechi said better send her to boarding school before she turns the whole house to ashes. They tried all of it: counseling, deliverance, therapy, even a military-style Christian camp. Amarachi came back from camp angrier than before. "They tried to cast out what's in me," she said, eyes blazing. "But what's in me? What's in me? It's me." Then, one day, something strange happened. It was Sunday, church service. Amarachi wore her pink lace and sat beside her mother. During offering time, a woman brushed her by mistake while passing. Amarachi turned sharply. "Are you blind? or your spirit just likes disrespect. The woman froze. The usher dropped the basket. Her mother whispered, "Hey, this girl will not kill me, oh." The next week, Amarachi was put on the ushering team to help her learn patience. She lasted just 2 Sundays. By the third week, she had shouted at 3 members, collected the offering bag, and commanded one man to sit down there before God strikes you. They removed her. Yet, despite all these her problems, Amarachi was very beautiful. The kind of beauty that made you forget your problems until she opened her mouth. Her smile could melt eyes, but her temper would burn a house. And that was how she met Chidi. It was on a Wednesday evening at her cousin's engagement party. Amarachi wore a yellow gown that hugged her like destiny. She stood near the drinks cooler when one fine boy in Abada mistakenly spilled zobo on her white sandal. She looked down, looked up, her nostrils flared. The guy raised both hands quickly. "Sorry, oh, I'm sorry, it wasn't on purpose." People who knew her already started adjusting their clothes. One man quietly took his wife and stepped back. Everyone nearby held their breath. The guy raised his hands. "Please, I didn't know when I did it. I'm so sorry." Amarachi inhaled deeply. Then, to everyone's shock, she said, "Next time, hold your cup like your life depends on it. Do you understand?" The boy nodded like an obedient jam candidate. "Yes, ma. I'm very sorry, ma." She hissed silently and walked off. That's when Chidi saw her. He had been leaning against the garden fence, sipping malt and observing. He turned to his friend. "Who is that girl that almost exploded the party but swallowed it?" His friend said, "Ah, that's Amarachi. The Amarachi everyone talks about." "Yes." "Ah, she's a beautiful girl, oh." "Ha, she's a beautiful girl. But if she vex for you, even your shadow will run," he advised. Chidi smiled. "I like her already." Chidi was the exact opposite of Amarachi. He was calm, gentle, quiet like river water. A youth pastor who always said things like, "Let love lead," and "patience is the fruit of the spirit." Yet, he wasn't soft. He just had the stillness that made people listen. And when he met Amarachi officially, she was eating small chops with her nose turned up. He said, "Hello, you held back your fire earlier. That was really impressive." She looked at him sideways. "So you were watching?" "Yes, and hoping the Zobo guy would survive." She laughed. Actually laughed like something cracked open in her chest and let the sunlight in. Chidi blinked like he'd just seen an eclipse. "That's the first time I've heard you laugh since I got here," he said. She tilted her head. "Maybe you're not funny enough." He placed a hand on his chest. "Ah, God of second chances. Please don't let me be roasted by this girl." She laughed again. "You're lucky I'm in a good mood. And I'm hoping the Zobo guy is somewhere thanking God for his divine mercy." They stood by the cooler for a moment longer, surrounded by the scattered noise of the engagement party, music and laughter. But in that moment, it felt like only the two of them existed in a quiet, invisible bubble. That was it. After that evening, things started gently. A message here, a "how's your day" there, then longer conversations, then voice notes that turned into long calls that stretched past midnight, then walks after Sunday service, then dates. Chidi didn't rush, neither did he try to fix her. He simply stayed. And something about the steadiness, that soft presence, softened her sharp edges like cool balm on sunburned skin. Amarachi once asked him, "Everyone is afraid of me. Why are you not afraid of me?" He would smile. "You're not thunder. You're just lightning learning how to glow without striking." She stared at him like he had spoken a language she didn't know she needed. He became the only person she didn't feel the need to prove herself to. With him, she didn't have to fight for space because he saw that he gave it to her freely. When she felt her blood rising, when someone said something foolish or stepped on her foot in church or tried to cut her in a line at the ATM, she would look at Chidi and somehow, just seeing his face, the quiet way he would raise his brows or tilt his head or whisper, "I hear you," would disarm her. It was the way he would say, "You're not in a fight, love. Just breathe." And somehow she would. She would close her eyes, take in air like it was medicine, and exhale like she was choosing peace. She wasn't cured, no, not at all. One time, a keke driver insulted her mother now at the market, and Amarachi removed her slippers and charged like a lioness. But just before she reached the man, she heard Chidi's voice echo from across the road. Amarachi! She paused, one slipper already airborne. Come, he said gently, stretching his arm like a patient father to a wild child. Let the devil be confused today. Don't go there. She sighed, turned around, and walked back like a child coming down from sugar high. Even her mother noticed. One evening, after Chidi had come to drop her off, Amarachi's mother stood at the doorway watching her daughter float into the house like she was walking on clouds. Amarachi, she called. Hmm? That boy, what exactly did he give to you? Amarachi frowned. Mommy, please, oh. Because I'm watching you. Since this boy came, nobody has cried in this house again. There has not been any broken plates or even the gas cooker. It has relaxed. Amarachi tried not to smile. He's just calm. God bless him, oh. Please don't scatter him with your wahala. Amarachi turned and said quietly, it's because he doesn't try to fix me. All of you just try to always blame me. Chidi just sees me. Her mother looked at her for a long time, her mouth slightly open. He sees you? As how? X-ray? Amarachi laughed. He sees me as a human being. And that was the truth. With Chidi, she didn't feel like a problem. She felt like a person. Chidi, I don't know what you put in her food or what you have been telling my daughter, but I want to say thank you. At least now, we can all sleep without checking the locks. Chidi just smiled. But true habits die hard. One evening, Chidi took her out to a fancy restaurant. She wore red heels. He wore a blazer. Everything was going well until the waiter brought her plate, filled with onions. She stared at it. Excuse me, she said slowly. I don't want onions. The waiter stuttered. I'm sorry. I'll fix it. 10 minutes later, he brought another plate. There were more onions on the plate. Amachi exploded. Are you deaf? Or are you doing experiment with this job? How many times will I have to tell you I don't want onions on a plate? Are you that dumb? The waiter looked like her like he wanted to cry. Chidi tried to calm her. Babe, don't babe me, please. This is why I hate eating out. Simple instructions, and now look, the whole restaurant is watching me, as if I'm the problem. Everyone really was watching. Chidi stood up quietly, collected the bill, paid, and left. That night, he didn't call. The next day, she texted, You've not called me, hope you're okay. He replied, I am, but I'm thinking. She called him again, no answer. She got angry. So now you're ghosting me because I shouted. I should be the one angry, not you. He replied, Amarachi, it's not about one shout. It's about many shouting incidents. I love you, but your anger enters the room before you do. That message sat in her chest like stone. She read it twice, thrice. Then she cried. Nobody had ever told her that, not that way, not so calmly. They always said she was misunderstood, that others provoked her. No one had said, you are the storm. The next day, she didn't go out. She stayed in bed, thinking. Her mind replayed everything. The lunchbox, the locked toilet, the Zobo spill, the shouting. That evening, her little niece, Zuri, spilled juice on Amarachi's bedsheet. Everyone in their house froze. Zuri looked up. Auntie Ami, I'm sorry. Amarachi stared at the mess. She opened her mouth, closed it, then said softly, Go and bring towel. Zuri blinked. Auntie, are you okay? Amarachi smiled weakly. I'm trying. And from that moment, she really started trying. After that text from Chidi, something inside Amarachi cracked. Not loudly, not with thunder, but with the quiet heartbreak of someone who'd finally been seen. Your anger enters the room before you do. She read it 5 times. The first time, her instinct was to fling her phone across the room. She held it tightly instead. The second time, she rolled her eyes and hissed. So it's my anger now, not what people do to me. But by the third time, she wasn't rolling her eyes. She was blinking back. Something unfamiliar. Shame. She dropped the phone on her bed and just sat. Silent, arm crossed, face still set like stone, but her heart had started making noise. Amarachi, is this really how people see you? She didn't reply that voice, not that night. The next morning, she tried to move on like nothing had happened. She came to the kitchen early, even offered to help her mother chop vegetables. Her mother paused. What are you looking for? Nothing, oh, Amarachi muttered. But inside, she was looking for herself, measuring every breath. I won't shout today. I won't raise my voice. I won't explode. By 10 a.m., her younger brother Ejike had finished the last bread and left the nylon on the table like an insult. Amarachi saw it. Her eyes twitched. She opened her mouth, then shut it again. She took the nylon, folded it, and dumped it in the dustbin. Her chest was tight. It felt like swallowing hot beans without water. Why is holding back this hard? Is this how normal people feel? This tightness in their chest. Is peace supposed to feel like punishment? But she didn't scream. She didn't shout, not even small. That evening as she lay in bed scrolling through old photos of her and Chidi, her heart did a soft somersault. She missed him so much. Oh, how she missed him. But a new thought entered her mind. Something scary. Small. What if he's right? What if I'm the storm actually? She stared at the ceiling again, her fists clenched without her realizing. I don't want to lose him. But more than that, I don't want to lose myself to this fire again. So, she did something unthinkable. She Googled anger management classes near me. She half expected thunder to strike. But nothing happened except that she found a church-based Saturday class called When Fire Burns Too Hot. She sighed and signed up. That first Saturday, she nearly didn't go. She stood by the door, dress iron, shoes on, but her hand froze on the doorknob. Her mind raced. What if they mock me? What if someone there knows me? What if I fail again? But her heart answered, what if you don't? She took one breath, then another, and opened the door. The room was smaller than she imagined. A few chairs, one whiteboard, and a funny-looking facilitator with a bowed head and cheerful eyes. Welcome to When Fire Burns Too Hot, he smiled. She looked around and nearly fainted. There was the usher she once screamed at during a vigil. That girl from her NYSC camp she almost slapped because of her bong space. And the lady she insulted 3 years ago for cutting her in line at a suya spot. God was clearly not playing. She sat at the back, tucked in her rage and kept her face neutral. But her heart, it was on fire. The facilitator began. Everyone here has struggled with anger. That's why we are here. Not to be perfect, but to learn how not to destroy everything we love. That line went straight to Amarachi's throat. She remembered Chidi's eyes that last time she yelled in public. She remembered her mother whispering prayers over her pillow. She remembered her niece flinching when she raised her hand once, not even to hit her, just to gesture. Tears pricked the corners of her eyes. She blinked fast. I can't cry here, not in front of people who know my temper history. But she was already unraveling. The facilitator gave them an exercise. Write a list of people you've hurt with your temper. At first, she rolled her eyes. What kind of jam question is this? But then, she started writing. Chidi, Mama, AGK, Ifnanya, that waitress, the Okada man that brushed her ankle in 2021, the copper she insulted over bunk arrangement, herself. By the time she got to the 18th name, her hands were shaking. She stared at the list like it wasn't her own handwriting. Is this who I've become? A person who leaves small wounds wherever she goes? She folded the paper quietly like someone burying a body. Back home, she didn't say much. Her mother noticed. Your face is calm today. Amarachi nodded, tired. But the truth, she wasn't tired. She was quiet. For once, silence didn't feel like defeat. It felt like rebuilding. Weeks passed. The classes became her new Saturday ritual. Each one stripped her, then stitched her back. She started noticing her triggers, that hot sensation in her chest before an outburst, the sharp hit behind her eyes, the quick walls that rose like shoulders. Now she learned to disarm them. She started pausing. Sometimes she failed, sometimes she succeeded, but she always came back. Then came the Sunday showdown. Her cousin Ifnaya arrived with her new fiancé, a boy with a loud mouth and no filter. The kind of person Amarachi usually devoured like puff puff. Everyone was seated. She served drinks, smiled politely. Oh. Then the guy said it. Ah, this one fine, oh, but you look like someone that talks too much. There was silence. Her inner rage stood up. It wore wrapper. It carried cane. But something else stood up too. Wisdom. Amarachi inhaled slowly. She smiled. Maybe, oh, but you know what's worse? Being a guest and talking anyhow in someone else's house. The boy chuckled awkwardly. Na joko! No wahala, she said, turning back to the kitchen. Inside, her body was shaking, but her heart was calm. That night, her phone buzzed. It was Chidi. Her stomach flipped. She opened the message carefully. I heard about what you did today. I wasn't there, but someone told me. I'm proud of who you're becoming, Amaranchi. She covered her mouth, then her phone rang. Amara, yes, I miss you. I miss you too. There was a pause. Can I take you out this Friday? Maybe we'll talk. Maybe we'll start again. She closed her eyes. Yes, she said, smiling through tears. I would love that. Now, Amarachi leads an online space called Fire to Flower. Every week, she shares stories of people turning rage into growth. She's still learning, she's still healing. But now, when someone insults her, she sips water first. When chaos calls, she doesn't answer immediately because she has learned. Not every fire is meant to burn, some are meant to light the way. The end. Thank you so much for watching today's story. Amarachi's journey reminds us of something many people don't like to admit. Sometimes we are the storm in the room, not life, not village people, not bad luck. Us, we are the storm. Anger is real low, and sometimes it even feels justified. But when it begins to destroy your relationships, your peace, and your purpose, then it has become your prison. Amarachi was born with fire, but fire unchecked burns bridges. Fire refined, on the other hand, it becomes light, it becomes warmth, it becomes useful, it becomes power. Nobody's asking you to be perfect. We are just asking, can you pause before you explode? Because truth be told, some apologies don't fix the damage. And some that's how I am attitude will cost you good people. So let me ask you, have you ever lost something or someone because of your temper? Or do you know someone like Amarachi who needs this story today? Please share your thoughts in the comment section. I would love to hear your responses. And please, if this story made you laugh, reflect or wipe one or two tears, kindly give it a thumbs up. Until next time, breathe before you speak. Pause before you react, and remember, it's not weakness to walk away. Sometimes that's where your power begins. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.